Welcome to Home Remodeler Toolbox, the podcast dedicated to empowering remodelers and builders to build and grow successful businesses. Join your host, Bob Vance, founder of Home Remodeler SEO, as he brings you industry insights and strategies that will help you build a thriving business, no matter what level you're at in your business. Whether you're a thriving multi-million-dollar business or you're working on building your business from the foundation up, this podcast is your go-to source for industry secrets and actionable strategies that you can implement in your business to get to that next level. So, turn on, tune in, and let's help you build your business foundation one building block at a time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Home Remodeler Toolbox podcast. I'm Bob Vance, CEO and founder of Home Remodeler SEO, a digital marketing agency and consultancy that works with remodelers, builders, and home improvement services companies. I've got Dan Langerman of DHA Financial on as a guest today. Dan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? I know you've been in the mortgage industry for quite some time, and now you've really developed this expertise when it comes to working with remodelers and builders and helping bridge that gap for homeowners and financing these projects. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you got started in your company and then the type of loans and products that you have today that are really beneficial for remodelers and builders out there?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Appreciate you having me today. So my name is Dan Langerman. I'm the CEO of DHA Financial. We're an established mortgage company since 2001. I've been in the business for nearly 30 years now. We specialize in purchases and construction loans and renovation loans as well. So that's where we're able to work with the builders and remodelers like you were talking about. So there's a wide, array of different products out there when it comes to the construction loans, whether you're talking about spec loans or one-time closes, or even the renovation loans where you've got you can do renovation loans for, USDA, VA, conventional, FHA, that kind of thing. So, like I said, I've been in the business since 2001. So I've come across a lot of things. Not going to say I know everything about everything, but if there's something out there I don't know because it's such an ever-changing type of industry, I know where to find the answers. So there's a lot of different products out there for, like you were talking about, the remodelers and builders, and more than happy to discuss if there's any questions out there.
Yeah. And so you do a lot of the origination loans, like you said, construction loans for new builds, even spec homes, but then you also have some products that help homeowners themselves. So you actually have loans for homeowners to kind of bridge that gap to maybe going from one house that they're moving out of into maybe a new home to where they're getting that loan. You're not actually, in other words, you're working with builders and remodelers on those loan products, but you also work directly with homeowners too, right?
That's correct. Absolutely. So, a lot of times what we do is we actually have an investor that's, it's pretty much I call it the contingency buster. So when you get home buyers that want to buy a new, home that's being constructed by a builder and they got to sell their home first, a lot of times they either have to qualify for both or the other thing is that they'll have to sell one to be able to buy the other. We have an investor will actually go in and purchase the home on the borrower's behalf or the buyer's behalf. So that way that it'll allow them to move into that property, give them 2 months to go ahead and sell their property. And then when that's all said and done, then the builder's not waiting on the buyer to sell their home, or if they don't sell it and tying up that home for a certain amount of time. So, it's a great product when it comes to helping our builders out.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds cool. So when we're talking about builders, remodelers, the industry in general, like you and I, we're both part of the Denver Home Builders Association as industry partners, the Denver HBA, part of the under the umbrella of the NAHB. What are some of the challenges that you see facing the industry in general when it comes to maybe financing or trying to facilitate more activity in the market to keep the industry moving forward. We've got a big election coming up. Always throws a monkey wrench into things. Economies, kind of waivers here and there. You see different reports on that. But what are some of those challenges that you see, and how are you guys addressing those challenges?
For us, I mean, obviously, probably the one that sticks out the most is just how high interest rates have been now for the past 2.5 to 3 years. So that's always a kind of a barrier to entry when it comes to purchasing a house. For us, it's I look at that as, with the higher interest rate, it takes a lot of the buyers out of the market too. So with interest rates going down, it's going to bring buyers back into the market, which in return, in my opinion, it's going to start to push home prices up. So that's, the old cliche is a lot of lenders like to use is you're married to your house and you're only dating your rate. So the quicker you can get into a house and buy a house, even though you might have a higher rate, even for now, it looks like it's going to be for the shorter time because they're looking at cutting interest rates here shortly. Then you can go ahead, you get into the house, you have the higher rates, and you can ride those rates down. So the interest rate is a big barrier to entry. And with home prices in Denver increasing so much, the other barrier to entry is a lot of times the down payment. A lot of buyers look at the down payment as something difficult to overcome, and they the main falsehood that you take a look at is a lot of people think that it's 20% to put down, when in actuality you can put as little as 3% down. So there's a lot of different ways to get around some of these, scares that a lot of home buyers would have. And so it's, if anything, give your loan officer, give us a call, mortgage company a call, and we can take a look at your situation. Everyone's unique and different, and kind of tell you what you need to work on. Or a lot of times you won't have to work on anything, and you'll be able to qualify for a loan right away.
Okay. Yeah. So, you mentioned home prices here in Denver, and obviously, they've been going through the roof for several years now. But I'm also seeing a lot across the nation, and I know that you work in other states as well, where there's the home prices are just continuing to go up all across the nation. It's not just enclaves like Denver or Las Vegas or South Beach or wherever it may be, but it's generally all across the nation. Homes and home affordability have just gotten so out of reach. Do you think that's has a lot to do with a glut in housing that's available, basically a supply-demand issue? And do you see a turnaround for builders to where there is going to be a lot more building increasing and thus a lot more opportunity in the future?
Yeah, I think a lot of the issue has to do with, a shortage of the houses that we have throughout the country. I mean, numbers indicate anywhere from 4 to 7 million housing shortage. With that, I think the opportunity for builders right now is tremendous. So, find that market to where they're going to allow, more land and more properties to be purchased, more homes to be built. Find that the area where permits are going to be a little bit more readily available and easily more accessible depending on the city and county that they're building in. But I think it's an awesome opportunity right now for home builders, home remodelers. I think we're just starting to step into what I think could be an absolutely fantastic market for both.
It seems like it. For like you said, for both builders and remodelers, like builders, there's such a demand in housing. We have such an undersupply, like you said, anywhere from 4 to 7 million. So things look good on the builder front. But then for remodelers as well, with the sky high prices, a lot of people are deciding not to move, not to build a new home, and instead just remodel their current home, whether there may be a kitchen and a couple baths or maybe a full home remodel. So it seems like there's a lot of opportunities for remodelers as well. And with remodelers, they can help get that financing for homeowners and see that opportunity to just as much as builders can, which is kind of unique. Usually it's one or the other, but it seems like there's a really good opportunity for both now.
Right. I agree. I mean, a lot of people right now have interest rates probably in the 2s and 3s and 4s. So with, if they start to drop, a lot of times it still make may make sense to, build an addition, build an ADU, do some, kitchen fix up or bathroom or whatever it is to increase the value of your home and continue to live where you're at right now. So I think that opportunity is going to be plentiful definitely for remodelers. And I've even seen it to where some remodelers are starting to step into the building world and want to build their own properties and see what they can do as far as that business venture goes for them.
Yeah, we've seen that too with remodelers that we work with or that we network with that are kind of starting to dip a toe in that building and or spec world. They have the experience, the design experience, the general contractor experience. They're good remodelers, and now they're kind of thinking, well, maybe we start doing some new builds and start filling in some of this land that is available and see what they can do in regards to becoming a true home builder instead of just a remodeler, which they're two very different professions. So I think there's a lot of overlap there, but I am seeing more of that overlap occurring to where they're transitioning now. Are you experiencing that as well with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, with some of the builders, remodelers that we've worked with, we'll get called from remodelers that do want to build their first spec home. So that to us is kind of a proof, if you will, that all of a sudden, now they're wanting to kind of see what they can do as far as building home too.
Yeah, I'll just put a plug in here for my history in that. That's exactly what I did. I was doing real estate development, apartments, flipping, doing some remodeling jobs, but mostly fix and flips. And then I got partnered up with another guy that we started doing spec building because Denver had such a infill market, such a demand for that spec building infill market. And so it was just natural progression. And I think we're kind of maybe coming around to that again. It really seems like with the folks I'm talking to, especially within the Denver HBA and the other HBAs that we talk to.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think the opportunity's there. And I think the opportunities there for the remodelers to jump into the whole building, and even the current home builders right now, they're doing 1, 2, 3, home builds a year to increase their volume as well to 10, 20, 30. So I think the opportunities there.
Yep. Exactly. So, when we talk about your programs in terms of the construction loans or the bridge loans for remodelers, trying to help the homeowners put some financing in place that might be more advantageous, a better program. Your expertise obviously comes into play there instead of just going to any old bank or mortgage company. You guys have experience at this. You know the ins and outs of it. What could you say in terms of what are some of your benefits of your programs and why someone should work with you over just going to their regular, local bank for a loan?
So I would say 1, the experience. Number 2, we've got to be licensed in what we do. Local bank, typically you don't have to be licensed. For us, the experience is big when it comes to either the renovation or even the construction loans. So we understand how they work, the intricacies, the ins and the outs. We're there also, obviously, to protect, the home builder as well as the home buyer, because both of them have to get approved to do either one of the loans. So the big thing, I think, is the experience. I think that really sets us apart compared to a lot of the other companies out there that haven't really gotten into, the home building world, and they're more focused on, just kind of doing refinances and other loans to that matter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we have restoration / remodeling companies that, take care of the water damage claims and all that. And the ones that seem to have the best relationships with insurance companies that really can advise them, guide them on that sort of thing, that expertise really goes a long ways. It really lets you not only go down the right road, but it keeps you going down the wrong road and going down some rabbit holes if they've got someone like you to guide them on that process. So,
yeah, no, I agree 100%. Experience is definitely a big factor.
Yeah. What with some of the clients that you work with, some of the builders that you're working with here in Denver, remodelers as well, what's some of the feedback you've got from them? What are some of the things that have really stood out to them that really has created success for them in partnering with you?
So for us, we have actually, a builder or even a remodeler, we have a joint venture mortgage program to where it can allow them to actually own their own mortgage company. So for what it does is that it adds an extra layer to their vertical on what they're doing right now. So instead of referring it out, what they can do is, feel free to give us a call. We can talk about it. You can capture that type of revenue and continue to build on your vertical and what you're doing right now. And in that case, you can use a lot of that revenue, for example, for advertising. So SEO, it can be used for, a myriad of different other things to be added back into, the revenue that your company is already starting to generate. So, feel free to give us a call on that. But for our builders, their success is they are adding to, the revenue and what they're doing right now, rather than kind of passing it away or passing it on to one of the larger mortgage companies and not just receiving coffee and donuts every single, quarter or 6 months or something like that, that they actually become viable business partners.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure how much you can go into this, but you mentioned they actually own the mortgage. How does that work? They're actually carrying the note on the home for their customer, or?
Well, so pretty much what they're doing is it's a mortgage joint venture program. It's where they actually are able to purchase into our company. We've had it vetted. Everything is RESPA compliant. So they actually purchase into our company. It's more or less there's no licensing involved or anything like that. And it's a chance for them to own their own mortgage company rather than have to go through the licensing setup and get personnel, get employees, to get office space or to any of the foundation that they would have to do when everything's already set up within our company. So it's a fairly simple process. And like I said, feel free to anyone out that has any interest, give me a call. I'm happy to discuss it more with them.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. They get to avoid all the regulatory headaches that you have to deal with on their behalf, and then they just get to take part in the upside.
Yeah, we've already dealt with the regulatory piece of it, so that they wouldn't have to go through that piece of it. We've already dealt with it on our end.
Okay. All right. What's some of the feedback you've gotten? Some of the quotes, the testimonials with the builders you work with. What has really stood out to them that they kind of rave about?
The big thing is they enjoy the fact that they're generating additional revenue on something that they're already, referring to. So that's been a big piece of it. So adding to the revenue and their bottom line has been great. So again, it can offset additional expenses on other parts of their business, but building to that vertical, it's similar to a lot of the builders right now. They own their own title companies. So now it's a chance for them to add another piece in that vertical and own the mortgage piece as well.
Basically, they're creating different revenue streams. Instead of just being a builder, now they have a mortgage business, and now they have a title business.
Yeah, title, and some even have their own like remodelers, right? That a lot of them have their own, just different general contractors and that are involved within their business too. So it's adding to the vertical on what they already have established.
Okay. Yeah, I think this sounds perfect for the guys that are real go-getters, real visionaries to how do you keep building wealth? How do you keep building success, growing your empire, basically, instead of staying in your own little bubble? There are plenty of builders, remodelers that probably want to stay small and just not really deal with some of this stuff. But a lot of the folks that we talk to seem to be real visionary in their thinking and where can they keep pushing the envelope and growing their empire.
Right. Yeah, that's those are the ones that are continuing, like you were saying, continuing to build, and they don't want to slow down. They have this greater vision of what they're doing and what they want to do, and that they're going out and accomplishing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing I heard about your company too is you guys are really focused on customer service. seems like you put a real premium on that, really building that relationship. Because like you said, these builders or remodelers, they're buying into your business. They're buying into your company. And you're more partners. You're not just servicing a loan for them. That's a whole different feeling to that. Can you speak to that level of customer service that you guys offer and how that really works?
Yeah, our goal, I mean, obviously we want to keep these customers for life. So when we have builders or remodelers that are our business partners, then we want to be able to, not only do we want to get that initial loan when they're doing either their construction loan, their renovation loan, we want to also work to keep them down, in the future. So when rates drop, like, they're obviously poised to drop here, they're going to want to come back and do refinance. So our business partners, not only are they, the builders and the remodelers are not only they generate revenue off the construction or the purchase loan that they're doing, but now all of a sudden they're able to gather and capture the revenue based off of the refinances as well. So it becomes, more of a machine that really starts to feed itself. And that's the whole goal is to keep these clients, within our sphere. So we can do a refinance for them again. So it always, that first impression is extremely important when you want to make sure that you make a good impression on those borrowers, and then continue to keep them around and impress them, so you can do a refinance or 2 or 3 for them later down the road.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. I like that. That's something we really focus on. We call it our white glove concierge level of customer service. I just think it really makes a difference in the relationship and wanting to maintain that relationship. That's something I've learned with you and also being in the Denver HBA. It really is about relationships, working with people you like, that you trust. That old saying, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So I think customer service is something to really focus on putting that premium on, and not enough companies do that, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's one, everyone always asks how, a good way to set yourself apart. And a good way to do that is by the number of refinances that you have once rates start to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get those, the old loan guys reaching out to me for the refinance every now and then. It's like, well, good. You're learning something about marketing and staying in contact with your customer base. We're always we're always trying to teach, our builder and remodeler clients, like, you got to have an email newsletter going out, keep people abreast of what's going on in your business, and just, whether it's a project you're working on, whether it's, something you've done within the community, maybe a Habitat for Humanity kind of project, maybe, just talking about the industry in general, where rates are going, how the economy's going. It's just information for people, but it also keeps you top of mind for them, creating that brand awareness that not enough people do a good enough job of. You really want to be top of mind for people when they do start thinking about, oh, is it time to refi, or is it time to move, or should I be doing that remodel? Can I afford it? What are rates at? Who can I turn to for this? And if you stay out in front of them, that's where you're going to have success with that.
Right. And if you have builders that do that on their own side, on the building side, then you got a partner mortgage company that does it as well. Now you're talking, you've got twice as much coverage as you would have if you were just to do it by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. 2-for-1 special kind of.
Exactly right.
I mentioned kind of some of the entrepreneurs that we work with being more visionary and kind of looking at where the industry is going or how they can keep growing their empire with different revenue streams or different products, services. Where do you see your industry going? Where do you think there's going to be some maybe trends or technological innovations or anything that can help more builders and remodelers on the mortgage side of things?
I think, for us, that's the other thing is we rely a lot on technology, and we're very heavily technology driven, which makes us more efficient with the clients and with the builders. And so it allows us to get loans done at, at a quicker pace and make sure we're doing them the right way as well. So I know there's a lot of, technology out there right now where AI is going to get involved, and it's starting to touch a little bit on the mortgage side. I think in due time, though, I think that AI is going to play a more prevalent part in what we do. And so, always keeping up with technology for us is an important thing, because efficiency is definitely, that's what drives our volume and the type of loans and how quickly we can get things done.
Yeah. I'm a real stickler for efficiency. I want to be as efficient, streamlined as possible. Kind of speaking of that, how would someone really measure the success or effectiveness or efficiency of the programs that you have? How would they be able to look back and say that this is really working? And obviously, we're talking about revenue, right? Are they increasing their revenue stream? Are there other ways or other metrics that they can really look at when it comes to the relationship they build with you and your programs?
Yeah, so for us, I'm not. One thing I always tell our business partners too is you're going to have other people that are going to compete for the mortgages. We're happy to compete for those mortgages. We'll do everything we can if the interest rate is what they're looking at. They want to get a lower interest rate. We'll do what we can to be whatever quotes they have out there. So we want to be as competitive as we possibly can on all facets of what we're doing. So it's not about, for us, it's not necessarily about making the most money on one loan. It's making a little bit of money on as many loans as we possibly can. So, that piece to us, I think, speaks volume, and and competition, I think is a great driving force. And that's what makes, a good mortgage company and a solid mortgage company.
And you guys you have a lot of resources. I mean, you guys are big enough that you are able to stay really competitive, from what I understand, when it comes to rates and terms.
Yeah, our goal is we want to keep our expenses as low as we possibly can, so that helps us be a lot more competitive. So there's, we can broker loans like a lot of individual brokers out there, but we're also a correspondent lender, which means we lend with our own money as well. So that gives us kind of a leg up on being as competitive as we possibly can too.
And so does that mean you guys will actually keep some of these construction loans or partner loans under your roof? You guys will finance and carry those, I guess?
So we won't service anything like that. We'll sell the servicing off to the investor.
Okay.
So our goal is to get them as a competitive a rate as we possibly can, and then sell it to an investor that's, more or less paying us a competitive margin as well. And that way, like anything else, the loans can always be bought and sold. But we don't service our own loans. We'll leave that up to kind of the much larger investors out there that like to do that.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Like you're really good at originating these loans, working with builders and remodelers, but you're not in the business of actually servicing loans and waiting for that mortgage payment to come in every month. And
yeah, that's exactly right.
Chasing down the bad loans.
Right, exactly.
Great. So I guess, kind of in closing here, what advice could you give to builders and remodelers on if they're on the fence thinking about, is this program right for them? How could it really benefit them? What closing advice would you give them to think about to maybe open that door for them?
On something like that, I would say, go ahead and give me a call. We can always run through the numbers. That's obviously, if, businessmen, businesswomen and stuff, that's the main thing, is I want to see numbers, see if it's going to make sense. It's no different if you have your own title company. These builders or remodelers are taking a look at, does it make sense to have their own title company? It's the same process you take on any facet of your business, especially if you're adding a vertical to it and going from there. So, do the research, give me a call. I'm happy to help.
Okay, great. We'll put your contact info when we post our interview online. But just, could you tell people what your website is, what your phone number is, maybe if they want to reach out before then?
Sure. So Danny Langerman, my phone number is 303-733-3922. My email address is D as in Dan, D Langerman at DHA LOAN.com. And our website is www.dhaloan.com.
Okay, great. Well, That sounds great, Dan. Well, thanks a lot for spending time with us today. Really informative. I've learned a lot myself. I've known you through the Denver HBA for quite some time, but just learning about how these loans work, the advantages, and just really those different revenue streams has been eye-opening for me. I think a lot of our audience is going to find some great value in it. So thanks again for coming on to the show today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Bob.
All right, everyone. We'll wrap that up. I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of the Home Remodeler Toolbox. We'll see you then.
Hey, if you liked our podcast, join the remodeling community and hit subscribe. We would love to hear from you, so be sure to share your thoughts on what you might want to hear about in future episodes. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, visit homeremodeler.seo.com and check out our services that can help build your foundation for success. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Remodeler Toolbox podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode.